Hello everyone, we are Team Cyberman. I'm Tane, and this is our human-robot interaction project. So when we first got Pepper, the first thing that we wanted to do was to empathize with the users. And so we went out and find out that we have four different target users that we want to talk about. The first are parents who have limited time to offer to their kids. The second are kids who are growing between the age of 5 and 12. The third are students who find self-learning difficult and require some special assistance. And finally, we also have students who need a tool to help them with memorizing stuff. So then we went out, did some ideations, came up with storyboards, and built a persona and created the POV. Which the POV we can divide into three different groups. The first are parents whose goal is to be more involved in their child's growth, but their frustration is that they're too tired or do not have enough time to do so. Then we have 5-year-old who want to learn new words, build up their vocabulary, but their frustration is that they're not open to those interactions. And finally, we have 12-year-olds whose goals are to get help from their parents for exam assessment, but their parents do not have time to evaluate their progress. So we came up with three different storyboards. The first is a digital flashcard. As you can see, the kid is bored of his paper cue cards. So here we have a digital flashcard that can help the kid learn better. Then we also had a Pepper storyteller where Pepper would basically stand and tell stories using her screen and different animations and gestures. Then we had an etiquette helper where Pepper would teach kids etiquettes about how to shake hands, how to proper manners for a dining table, and so on and so forth. So based on these different storyboards, we got feedbacks which were about how we're gonna scale different aspects of our project to increasing interactivity or making it more human-like, or or whether it would actually cause problems in human-to-human interaction.
Hi, I'm Mashiat. So, after all the feedback that we received from our speed dates, we ultimately came up with our solution, which would be Pepper as a friend, a companion for both busy parents and young kids. The way that Pepper would work as a companion is by aiding parents to not just help kids with experiential learning through flashcards using the cues that you saw in our previous slides, but also providing kids with an interactive storytelling platform where the kids can not just listen to a traditional story, but also interact with it so that it helps with their analytical thinking as well as entertainment. As for our interaction design that we did for our prototype, we have a few features that we would like to talk about. First off, for storytelling, the kids would not just, again, hear a story, but they would have the option to choose which direction the story goes. And then accompanying the stories, the voiceover that Pepper does, it will have graphical images. So for this prototype, we used the story of the three little pigs. So you can see the image over here. And then Pepper can also change voices according to characters. So maybe a rough, harsh voice for antagonist and a sweet one for a protagonist. Pepper will show body movements according to sequence, and we're also trying to leverage on the color of its eyes and ears to kind of convey the positive and negative feelings to make it more human-like. As for our flashcard features, we first off have voice activation to start the game to just make it much more interactive and exciting for the kids. We have instant feedback for encouragement because we figured out from our users that that's something that you would need for successful exam assessment. You can also customize the content, so whether it's vocabulary learning for young kids or a hard mathematical equation, you can do that. And then Pepper has cheerful dance movements for a fun human-like intro. Let's watch the video.
Yes, please.
Yes. What is this fruit?
Apple. An apple is a sweet, edible fruit produced by an apple tree known as the rustic.
What is this animal?
Dog.
Dog. What is this?
Formula for you transform. Sorry, you transform.
Which character sucked this line?
Cyberman?
Cyberman. Great job, you finished the game.
Tell me a story.
Let me tell you about the three little pigs. Mrs. Pig was very tired. Oh dear, she said to her three little pigs, I can't do all this work anymore. I'm afraid you must leave home and make your own way in the world. Each pig found different things to build with. The first little pig had straw, the second had sticks, and the third had bricks. They all set to work, and by nighttime the house of straw and the house of sticks were progressing quickly, but the house of bricks was only just beginning to rise above the ground. The first and second little pig laughed. They thought their brother was really silly having to work so hard. Which story would you like to hear first? The first or second little pig? The first. One starlit night, soon after they had settled in, a wolf was out looking for food. Little pig, let me come in, the wolf said. What do we say to the wolf? Yes or no?
No.
No, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, the little pig replied. Then I'll huff and I'll blow your house in, said the wolf. He was a big, black, lady sort of wolf, and he huffed and blew the house in.
Ultimately, the feedback that we got from our users on final prototype was quite positive. They definitely liked the interactive nest level that we increased in traditional formats of storytelling and learning. But there were, however, questions about how to optimize the retention period of kids that I think we can work on in the future. There was also one feedback about how we can input parents' voice in order to make the interaction more natural for kids. By using multimodal features like images, videos, as well as voice recognition in the future. The reflections and takeaways I think that we have from this whole project is that we definitely need more usability testing to identify what other human imitating interaction capacities we can make Pepper do, and maybe also try to deploy the same things for now. And one thing that we are really interested in looking for is how Pepper can imitate parents' voice. Again, the main purpose being keeping the natural element of storytelling or learning, but also kind of making it easier for the parents. Thanks.